Hey Toku Faithful, time for another edition of Ask the Writer. I have one from Necrom here. What do you think of the MCU Phase 4, and do you think it's going downhill with its newer releases? Well, to answer your question, Necrom, I don't think the MCU is going downhill with Phase 4. It feels a little scattershot, and I think a lot of that has to do with the Disney Plus shows. Now, I've only seen a handful of them. I've only seen 4 or 5 of them. I haven't seen Moon Knight. I haven't seen Hawkeye or Miss Marvel yet. It's just I've got a lot to watch, and especially around Halloween where everything horror. I've watched nothing but horror movies mostly, or horror shows. You know, that's kind of taken up a lot of my viewing time. So honestly, I think what Phase 4, what's not really dragging down Phase 4, but making the MCU lose a bit of its steam is Disney Plus. Because a lot of these shows I've been watching, with the exception of maybe She-Hulk, again, I can't speak for the others because I haven't watched them yet, shows like Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, I don't know, they just feel like they should have been movies, but I feel like they were chopped up and lengthened into a series. Now, some of them can work in that capacity. I think Loki can work in that capacity. But honestly, WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier really felt like they should have been movies. Like, originally, it feels to me like originally that's what the intentions were. Like, they were movies. They were supposed to be standalone movies of these characters. Excuse me. But it feels like, well, we need some original content for Disney Plus, so Feige and everybody else at Marvel/Disney thought, why don't we just take this movie, chop it up into 6 or 7 episodes, and make it original content for Disney Plus? Because in this day and age of streaming, you have to have original content to reel the people in. I mean, Lord knows they weren't already doing that with Star Wars alone. I mean, look at how good those shows have been. I love The Mandalorian. I thought Boba Fett was good, despite what people think. Haven't seen Andor yet, but I might get around to it. Anyway, back to Marvel. Again, I think that might be the not the problem, but it feels like the MCU is kind of losing steam because now you have to watch the series. You can't just watch the movies anymore because now you have to watch the series to know what the hell is going on. Like a lot of people who don't have Disney Plus, some of my coworkers and people who don't have Disney Plus, you know, I'm not going to go into why or not going to bother to question why. It's their decision. But anyway, a lot of people were confused when they saw Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which I loved, by the way, because it's from Sam Raimi, one of my favorite directors of all time. But anyway, they're like, why did Wanda do what she did in that movie, and why is she trying to get these kids? It's like, well, you had to watch WandaVision. It's like, well, I didn't watch WandaVision. How am I supposed to know what's going on? So, I think a lot of that is going to play into Phase 4 and Phase 5 onwards. That if you don't watch all these shows and don't know every single facet, it's going to get confusing. It's going to get kind of annoying. So unless you're a hardcore fanboy like me, or you know, dedicated to the MCU, like a dedicated fan, and watch every single show, you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. Because you know, most casual viewers just go to watch the movies. I mean, they could piece together what was going on from the movies, from the Avengers saga to the solo movies. But now you have these series, and they're bringing in plot points here and there, and it's going to be like, well, where's this coming from? I didn't see this in the last movie, etc., etc., etc. So it's going to get confusing, you know. And not everybody can afford Disney Plus, or people don't want Disney Plus, you know. No, that's not not something we have control of. But you know, I think that might be one of the contributing things to why Phase 4 isn't making the MCU go downhill, but it's making it lose a little bit of steam because everything's so scattershot now. Now, what I do like I like Doctor Strange. That was good. I thought Love and Thunder was funny, Like, I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. It's like on par with Ragnarok for me, because Ragnarok's my favorite. And I thought Love and Thunder was decent. I thought it dragged in a few places, but overall it was an entertaining movie. Black Widow was meh. Shang-Chi was meh. I forget what else came out. But She-Hulk. She-Hulk. We got to talk about She-Hulk. She-Hulk feels like it works in the respect or the aspect of a TV show. That feels like an episodic thing. That feels like something that could be spun off from the movies into a TV show. Like back in the old days, we didn't have TV shows connecting to movies like we do today. Back then, it was, if a movie was popular enough, it spun off into a TV show, or a movie was remade into a TV show. A perfect example is a movie called Starman, about an alien who comes to Earth and falls in love with an Earth woman. And in the TV show, they continue that. He comes back to Earth, meets his son that he didn't know he had, and they go look for his mom. So it's kind of like that. But nowadays, everything is connected. You watch the movies, then you have to watch the show, and then you have to go back to the movies. It's kind of complicated. It's a little more complicated than needs. But She-Hulk, I think, I like how it connects. They brought in Mark Ruffalo. It works there. I've been enjoying it so far. I don't think everybody should have gotten up in arms about the whole twerking thing with Megan Stallion, whatever her name is. I don't know. I don't listen to popular music nowadays. But everybody got so upset about that scene. And I'm just like, eh? I mean, I was kind of indifferent to it. I mean, I thought, okay, it was silly, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? They're just following popular trends. They're bringing on a popular pop star onto their show and interacting with them. I mean, how's that any different from bringing on a musical guest to host Saturday Night Live? You know, what's the difference? You know, I bet if it was someone you liked, then you'd love it. But, they're acting stupid. Oh, Stan Lee wouldn't allow this. You know what? Shut up. Again, it's going with what's popular. I mean, might I remind you that Stan Lee made a show called Stripperella? And I believe he went on record by saying his favorite cameo was a strip club DJ in Deadpool 1. So, just get off that whole She-Hulk thing. But yeah, I've been liking it. I just saw the new one. Spoiler alert, Daredevil shows up, and it's awesome. I'm so glad they brought him in. I've been excited ever since I saw him in Spider-Man No Way Home. Funny story, when I went to see that, of course, I expected everybody to hoop and holler when the original Spider-Man or the other two Spider-Men came in, because, of course, some asshole spoiled it for me, because I kind of knew they were coming. I think everybody knew they were coming. But anyway, as soon as I saw that Kane was down, that theater erupted. Everybody was cheering for Matt Murdock. I think Matt Murdock in that theater, my theater, got more praise and more cheers than the Spider-Man. So yeah, it was good to see him back. That's been a good show. Again, I can't talk about Moon Knight or Miss Marvel or Hawkeye. I haven't seen them yet. Maybe I'll get around to it. But to answer your question, Necrom, sorry I went off on kind of a tangent there. I don't think Phase 4 is making the MCU go downhill. It is kind of losing its steam because now you have to keep up on all these shows. It's a little jarring, but if you're a dedicated fan, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. But, you know, that's just my take on it. But I think it'll be okay. I'm sure the new Black Panther will be great. I'm sure Captain America: New World Order. I'm excited to see how Sam, the new Captain America, because I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. And as soon as I saw him in the comic accurate white suit, I was just like, yes. I know a lot of people wanted Bucky to be the new Cap, but I just thought, nah, I just don't see it. So you know what? I'm excited to see that movie. So yeah. I don't think the MCU is doomed anytime soon. But with a lot of franchises, the longer they go, the more, the more steam they lose, the more tedious they become. I don't think MCU is there yet, but it might reach that one day where people are just going to like, are they still making those? God, enough. It's like when you get 9 or 10 sequels of a horror franchise, you're just like, geez, how many times can they revive this guy? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love horror movies. I love Freddy, Jason, Michael. It's all I've been watching in October. But it just gets to the point where franchises, they lose steam, they burn out, and you're just like, give it a rest. It's the same thing with superhero movies. After a while, you're just going to have to give it a rest. But I don't think MCU is there yet. Maybe one day people are just going to be like, okay, enough, stop making movies. So, yeah. But I don't think today's that day. So, hope that answers your question, Necrom. Anyway, don't forget to use the hashtag AskAWriter in the comments below. And who knows, maybe I'll answer your question next. Until then, later.